Welcome back to Grammar Grade 12. I'm glad you're here. This is Unit 11, Lesson 74, and today we're going to make friends with one of the most misunderstood marks in all of writing, the semicolon. A lot of people sprinkle it around and hope for the best, but the semicolon actually follows a small set of very clear rules. Once you know what it connects, you'll use it with real confidence, and your writing will look polished and deliberate. Let's dig in. Before we begin, let's get one idea clear. A semicolon is not a period, and it's not a comma. It sits somewhere in between. Think of it as a soft bridge. It links two thoughts that are close in meaning, and it tells the reader to pause a little longer than a comma would, but not to stop completely. Everything in this lesson comes back to one question. What is the semicolon connecting? Sometimes it joins two complete sentences. Sometimes it separates items in a messy list. Once you can see what sits on each side of that little mark, every rule falls into place. Here's the most common job a semicolon does. When you have two independent clauses, two groups of words that could each stand alone as a sentence, and they're closely related, you can join them with a semicolon instead of a period. The rain stopped. The sun came out. Notice that the rain stopped could be its own sentence, and the sun came out could be its own sentence. The semicolon holds them together and signals that the two ideas belong side by side. One important warning. You use the semicolon here because there's no coordinating conjunction. If you added a word like and or but, you'd switch to a comma instead. The semicolon quietly does the joining all by itself. This next point is where the semicolon really earns its keep. A comma alone is too weak to join two complete sentences. When writers connect two independent clauses with just a comma, they create an error called a comma-splice. Look at this. My sister loves the ocean. She swims each day. Both halves are complete sentences, so that lonely comma isn't strong enough. The clean fix is a semicolon. My sister loves the ocean. She swims each day. The semicolon has the strength the comma lacks. So whenever you feel tempted to splice two sentences with a comma, reach for a semicolon instead. Now for a pattern you'll see constantly in formal writing. Sometimes you join two independent clauses with a conjunctive adverb. Words like however, therefore, moreover, consequently, and nevertheless. Or a transitional expression such as for example or in fact. Here's the shape to memorize. Clause, semicolon, the connecting word, comma, second clause. Notice where the marks fall. The semicolon goes before the connecting word, and the comma goes right after it. For instance, the tickets sold out quickly. However, seats remained near the back. That little rhythm, semicolon, word, comma, shows up again and again, so lock it in. Here's a completely different job for the semicolon. Usually we separate items in a list with commas, but sometimes the items themselves already contain commas, and a string of commas would be confusing. You couldn't tell where one item ends and the next begins. In that case, we promote the dividers to semicolons. Look at this. We visited Paris, France, Rome, Italy, and Bern, Switzerland. Each item is a city paired with its country, so each already has a comma inside it. The semicolons act as the big dividers between items, while the commas stay inside them. Think of it as two levels of punctuation, commas for the small pauses, semicolons for the large ones. One last caution before we practice, and it's an important one. A semicolon can only join things that could each stand alone as a sentence. It links two complete thoughts, never a complete thought and a fragment. Look at the wrong version. We left early because the storm was coming. That second part, because the storm was coming, cannot stand on its own. It's a fragment, so the semicolon is misused. The fix is simple. Use a comma instead. We left early because the storm was coming. So before you drop in a semicolon, test both sides. Cover one half, then the other. If each half can stand alone as a sentence, the semicolon is right. If either half falls over, choose a different mark. Let's boil this down to a quick check you can run every time. 1. Are you joining two independent clauses that could each stand alone with no and or but between them? Use a semicolon. 2. Are those clauses joined by a word like however or therefore? Semicolon before it, comma after. 3. Is your list full of items that already contain commas? Separate the items with semicolons. And 4. The safety test. Cover each side of your semicolon. If both halves could be their own sentence, you're right. If one is a fragment, switch to a comma. Run those 4 checks and semicolons will never trip you up again. Let's practice. In this first set, I'll show you a sentence and ask which punctuation belongs in the blank, a semicolon or a comma. Think about whether both sides could stand alone. Pause the video and decide before I reveal each answer. The concert ended late, blank. We walked home under the stars. Both sides could stand on their own as sentences, and there's no and or but joining them. That calls for a semicolon. The concert ended late. We walked home under the stars. The train was delayed, blank. Therefore, we missed our connection. The word therefore is a conjunctive adverb joining two complete clauses. The semicolon goes before it and the comma after. So the train was delayed. Therefore, we missed our connection. The team has players from Austin, Texas, blank, Reno, Nevada, and Tampa, Florida. Each item pairs a city with its state, so each already holds a comma. To keep the list clear, we divide the items with semicolons. Austin, Texas, Reno, Nevada, and Tampa, Florida. Now the second set. These sentences test whether a semicolon is used correctly, or whether something else belongs. Read each one, decide, and pause before I answer. Which sentence is punctuated correctly? Option 1 uses a semicolon. Option 2 uses only a comma. Both halves are complete sentences, so a lonely comma would be a comma-splice. The semicolon is the right choice. The museum was closed. We visited the park instead. Which sentence uses the semicolon correctly? In the first option, because her alarm failed, cannot stand alone. It's a fragment, so the semicolon is wrong there. In the second option, both sides are complete sentences. She practiced for hours. Her performance showed it. That one is correct. The road was icy, blank. However, the driver slowed down. However joins two complete clauses here, so it needs a semicolon before it and a comma after. The road was icy. However, the driver slowed down. Let's gather what we've learned. First, a semicolon links two independent clauses that could each stand alone as a sentence when no coordinating conjunction joins them. The rain stopped. The sun came out. Second, when a conjunctive adverb like however or therefore connects two clauses, the semicolon comes before it and a comma after. Third, when the items in a list already contain commas, semicolons become the big dividers that keep everything clear. And always remember the safety test. A semicolon joins complete thoughts, never a fragment. Next time, in Lesson 75, we'll turn to commas and compound sentences, how the comma teams up with words like and, but, and or to join clauses. I'll see you there.